How to add a new client. If there are already clients in the system, click an existing client and then click the new button. You can also reach this same page by using Task Directory, Client Information and Program, and you will get to the same page. Put the client's full name, first name, or last name, first name, in the full name field. Enter in the client's birthday, their social if you're going to carry it, their gender, and their state ID or their Medicaid number. It's an 8-digit number. Right. Anything else is optional. You do wish to select your plan and your program coordinator, though. That's a good thing to put in. And the date of admission. These are all good things to carry. If you have a referral date, that's even better. Save the record. And as you move through this, keep saving the record. All right. If you are providing services in the community, use this field here. If you are not providing services in the community, ignore that blue ribbon. In fact, it might not even show in your instance of Adaptive. The next one that you should pay attention to is personal information. To open a blue ribbon, click the plus, and what's important here is height and weight will display here, and with the last time that they were recorded. You do not enter that information here. Services needed, not required. You can use this as a text field if you wish. It will only display here. Description will display in the client profile. So you would like to describe that person, average build, scar on cheek, brown, walks with a limp. Something that if you lost that person, you would say, you would describe them as such. If you wish, you can put in the person's primary language, their ethnicity, their race, their religion, their marital status, all optional. If they are self-medicated, you will check this. All right, if you are totally managing their medications, you will leave that unchecked. Med logs required means that you will be charting on their medications. If you deselect this, you will be able to enter medications, but you will not be able to chart on medications. If they are their own guardian, check it. If they are not their own guardian, leave it blank. If they are under 18 and you are the foster care provider, leave it checked, otherwise deselect. These 3 fields are totally optional. They're text fields similar to services needed. They don't go anywhere, but they do display here. So if there's information you want to carry, enter it in. Remember to click Save as you move through the system. So next, we're going to look at hygiene, nutrition, toileting, and mobility. These are questions that you will answer about the care that a client needs to receive on a daily basis. Okay? Maybe they need help, total care toothbrushing, their independent bathing. They can't do they need to be reminded to do their nails, their independent dressing. They can select sometimes the right clothes and their gender preference. You can put in notes. Do they have a regular diet? Or are they diabetic? Right? What's their food consistency? What's their hand dominance? Fluid intake. They're supposed to do 30 ounces a day. Do they have any adaptive utensils? Nothing special about drinking. Do they have a favorite food? Do they have something that they hate? Okay. No, they don't swallow with difficulty. Toileting, are they independent? If they were not independent, what level of support do they need? Do they use a TENS? No. Or maybe they are independent and they do use a TENS. If so, what size do they wear? Do you have to chart on bowel movements? Is there a procedure? Are they ambulatory? Can they bear weight? Is there any, do they need lifting and positioning help? Do they have any adaptive equipment? None. Do they wear any protective devices, a knee brace, etc.? All right, and remember to keep saving. So do fill those out. They're great for when you get new hires, okay? So also, so that's the hygiene, toileting, and nutrition. There's also a high-level behavior plan. So they might not have a behavior support plan, but you do know that they like privacy. Okay, and so you might ask to enter room, okay? And you can enter in alternative behaviors. It's just very high level behaviors about the individual you're adding. It's not the behavior treatment plan. All right, and remember, we want to keep clicking save as we move along. Okay, then we're not going to be using client services here. And because we're going to be putting in our service agreement in a minute. Immunization history. So I'm going to close that. We're not going to be doing that one. I want immunization history here. What you do is you click is current and you do the list of current flu shots. And I would put in, they had their MMR, I don't know, 8/1/2020. They had a flu shot on 9/15/2020. They had a pneumonia shot. I'm just gonna, on 9/15, they had 2 shots that day. They had a shingle shot, whatever. This is their current immunizations, okay? When I update this, okay, I would say I want to do a new one as of 10, let's say you went to the doctor and you had them put in on 10/15/2020. What I would do is I would copy this. Oh no, it's showing me this here, 10/15/2020. And I would say this is the new current one. And actually, I think I have to select this one first, sorry. I'm going to say it is not the current one. So it's no longer the current one. This is what I meant to do, sorry. And now I'm going to have one for 10/15. And it is going to be the new current one. And I would put the new shot. And I would remove anything that is no longer in effect. And I would resave it. So I would show what this allows you to do is show a history of what shots are in effect at any point in time. Okay, so we have immunization information. The next blue ribbon that we're going to discuss, I'm going to close this personal information, And we're going to go to people involved in care. These are this individual's individual personal people, like mother, father. So Mary Jones is mother, and put in her address, city, state, zip, put in her phone number, more phone numbers if you wish, her email if you wish, and you're going to say contact first after emergency, okay? And you would save it. You can add as many as you wish. So then we would have Tom Jones, and this might be brother, put in all that information, save it. If one of these people is the guardian, you'll check it. If they also pay their bills, you would check it. If they are an emergency contact, leave it checked. If they are not an emergency contact, don't check it. The point here is you can have as many of these as you need. Okay? Next, organizations. If full guy, this guy here, goes to a day program or goes to work, or you have a relationship with a day program, as an example, you will be able to build a library of organizations. So this might be a day program that this individual goes to. This is the primary contact at this day program. Its days are us, okay, address, phone number, etc. And it is a licensed program, or maybe it's a school, but whatever. And you're going to save it, okay? You'll have a whole list of these. Then what you have the ability to do is associate that day program, that's the name of the program, day program, days are us or whatever, and save it, okay? Now, further, there might be a person who's totally responsible for just this person, not the complete day program, okay? So then we would put that person in, we would select its day program, and it might be Bill and Bob, that's his last name. Put in his role, he is the personal caregiver. And we can put in his phone and his email address if we wish, and save it. So now we have that person indicated. Bill Bob is the person that we would contact first about this person. If it was just a general question about the whole organization, we would be looking at the person indicated on that master record. Okay, enough about organizations. Pharmacies. The same thing. We're going to build a list of pharmacies that our clients that live with us use. So I would go new. I might have a Genoa, Woodbury. We would put in, it's Jonathan Jones, making stuff up here. It's Genoa. Address, city, state, zip. Don't forget to put the phone number, and don't do the phone and do the fax, because that's what the doc is interested in. And save it. So you can have a list of as many pharmacies as you use. Then what you do is you use the drop down. You associate that pharmacy with this client, and you can associate as many pharmacies with this client as you wish. One of those pharmacies is going to be the primary. All right. Case managers works the same way. We're going to build a company library of case managers. So the first might be Cassie case. And Cassie might work with Brain Injuries Association, or they might work for Hennepin County or whatever. You're going to put in the address, the phone number, and you're going to indicate what they are. Are they a case manager? Are they an advocate? Are they a guardian, etc.? You're going to save it. Okay? You're going to build a list of caseworkers. Okay? You also would like to have an ombudsman in here. You'll only have one ombudsman record, I believe, and you will select ombudsman. And this one is the only one I think that you'll ever do this with. You will say this caseworker applies to all clients. And you would have, in Minnesota, you'd have the state DHS ombudsman contact information in here. And save it. That's for in case something really bad happens. Okay, so close it. And then all you have, you don't have to do anything more about the ombudsman, but I do have to save this. Yes, and now if I refresh my page, I will be able to use this drop down. Okay, I will be able to use this drop down, took a while. Select the case manager for this client. This case manager is not an emergency contact, and associate that case manager with this client. You can have as many caseworkers as you need. You don't have to do anything with the ombudsman. That will be automatic, and it's only used for incident reporting. Okay? Medical professionals is the same way. You're going to build a list of medical professionals by selecting this Add Update button. You're going to put in a new one. Do not ever, ever go Dr. Smith, because everything will be in the D's. This list is sorted by this field. So the best way to do it is go last name, first name if you have it. If you don't have it, just make last name and then put in whether they're an MD or a CNP. And when you find out their first name, then you can come and put it in, okay? What's their practice area? Their practice area is not primary physician. They are either a family practice or a general practitioner or a psychiatrist or a psychologist or an optometrist. What is their practice area? Okay, who do they work for? They work for HCMC. What's their address? What's their phone number, etc., and save it. Okay, I'm going to close this. So then what's going to happen is now we're going to say who is their primary physician. Their primary medical physician is Sally Smith. Save it. If I have more in my drop down, I would select it. Is it their primary psychiatric? Is it their dentist? Or is it their hospital? So if we generally use HCMC as the example, do put in the full address. The practice area is hospital. We're going to save it. Now it's in the list. Close it. So now if I wanted to indicate his preferred hospital, I will select it, his hospital, and I'll save it. Okay, so you'll always have all of that information at your fingertips. If you bill through minutes, select bill minutes. Okay, and always remember to keep clicking that save button. If you're going to bill minutes, you're going to have a service agreement. Enter this in. These labels all match the labels on your service agreement. You do not need to select a case manager or put in a case manager number or enter in a case manager phone number. Those are not required fields, but everything else is required, and make sure that all of this information matches the service agreement. The subscriber name on the service agreement might not be what you call in Bubba. So this might say Richard Smith, and you might be having up here Bubba Richard Smith or whatever, okay? So, and I always keep saving this page, all right? The next tab on adding a new client is our additional information. And I'm going to do this from the bottom up, and I'm going to skip around to just the information that you really need to get started. First thing, if you have documents on your hard drive, you can save them in Adaptive so that you don't have to be at that particular computer to see that information, one, and two, that information is stored off-site in a safe HIPAA-approved environment. So I'm going to click Manage. I'm going to say maybe this is the original IAPP that came. I'm going to choose the file. I will select a document that I received. It might be just, I don't know, video user guides. That'll be a good one. And I will click Open. And then I'm going to click Update File. So then at any point in time, that document, that IAPP is viewable. Here it is. And by the way, these are all video user guides that you have access to, how to use the system. So if I clicked how to submit a ticket and report an issue, I would be seeing a video about how to submit a ticket.
To report a problem you or a user.
But we're not going to do that right now. And I'm going to delete this one, maybe not. If you do want to delete it, you just click delete. Okay? So next, we're going to skip some of this information and we're going to hit allergies. If you don't know somebody, if they have an allergy, you're going to go no known allergy. Don't leave these blank. If you do know the allergy, put it in. If you don't think they have an allergy, say no known allergies. Same thing on the reaction. If you do know the reaction to each allergy, put it in. Otherwise, say unknown. And save that allergy. Okay, diagnosis. So you're going to get a diagnosis on your service agreement. So you might say that's the service agreement diagnosis, definitely a primary, and you're going to save it. You can add as many additional diagnoses as you wish. If you have diagnoses that aren't on our list here, the way you put them on the list is as follows. You go to Task Directory, Administrative, Diagnosis Management. Then I'm going to put in the new diagnosis. Maybe diabetes is a diagnosis. Doesn't have a code. Don't guess. Just put in what you know. Click Save. And now, if I come back here, I think I have to refresh my page. And I'm going to look at diagnoses. I would have that diabetes on this list here somewhere. Took a moment, but here it is on my list, diabetes. It's not the primary, or it might be a primary. It's up to you. You can have as many as you wish, and I'm going to save it. So you can see that the bipolar F31.62 is a primary. You can have as many primaries as you wish. And the diabetes 2 is not, it's a secondary. Okay, so that's how you add diagnoses. Then directives and comments. So if somebody if their directive is full code, put full code in. If they have a DNR or a DNI, put it in here. And then put information about where it can be found, at what doctor's office, phone numbers, etc. So if you needed to get a hold of it quickly, you could, and there'd be no fumbling around about it, okay? If somebody has a protocol, we call them comments. But what you're gonna do to add it is you're gonna go like DIABETES protocol. And you're going to put in as much of that protocol as applies to the daily care of this client as you wish. You can have as many of these as you wish. So it might be insulin, it might be diabetes protocol, food, diet, as many as you wish. And these can be huge. It's a huge field. So field is very large, and you can copy and paste it out of your document and paste it into here. Okay, so you're going to have as many of these as you wish, is my point. Okay, and you're going to format them any way that you want. Then that's all we're going to do for the first session of getting a client's demographic and static information into the system. The other videos have to do with populating their plan of care, putting in medications, there's videos, adding medical services, etc. But this is how to get them in the first place.